Hello, and welcome to this brief tutorial about how to find information related to your gene's function, location, and a bunch of other sequence information, all on the NCBI gene and nucleotide pages. So to start off with, I just did a quick Google search for NCBI, National Center for Biotechnology Information, and I also typed the word gene to go to the gene page directly, just a little bit easier for our purposes today. Once you're here, you can type in the name of your gene. I'm going to type HBB for hemoglobin beta. Hit search, and then I scroll down a little bit, and you can see right on the top we have what I actually was looking for. This is the Homo sapiens version of this gene, but if that wasn't what you were looking for, you could scroll down and see a bunch of other things that have the same name. Perhaps, for example, here's HBB in the olive baboon. Curious. Or the Chinese hamster. You can find its version of hemoglobin beta. So it depends on what you're looking for specifically. If you can't find it immediately down there, because there are 73 different results, you can try to narrow that down by messing with the top organisms tree over here, clicking the More button, and trying to find whatever particular organism you care about. But for now, I'm going to click on this HBB to get to the gene page. And on this page, we have tons of information. You can see we have a title up here on the top. We have below that, just a little bit, we have a nice summary of all the information that's known about that gene, some of the things that it does. And to find more of that information, if we wanted to know even more, you can click on the gene ontology page. And this tells you the biological processes and molecular processes which your protein is involved in. So in this case, it's not surprising, perhaps, that hemoglobin is involved in oxygen transport. So very nifty. You can see, look, there's a bunch of other things in there you probably don't even know that it can do. I'm going to go back to the summary page to show you something else, though. And another thing on here is if you scroll down at the bottom of this page, you can see it tells you what chromosome it's on. So this is on chromosome 11. Let's take a little bit more in-depth look to see what this looks like. To do that, I'm going to click on the Genome Data Viewer, and I forgot to do it, but it's actually kind of a nice thing to do to open this up in a new page, because you'll note if I click the back button right now, it doesn't work. It actually doesn't bring me back to the page I was just at. So it's nice to open this up in a different page if you need to go back. What's on the Genome Data Viewer page? Well, if we scroll down a little bit, we see our big chromosome on the top. And then here, this very first green line is HBB, our gene of interest. And you'll notice that it's made of a bunch of lines and boxes. The lines represent introns. The boxes represent exons. And you can see that we have 3 exons, 1, 2, and 3, 2 introns between them. These exons on the end have a light green and a dark green coloration. The light green is representing the UTRs, the untranslated regions. So we have the 5' UTR on that side and the 3' UTR on that side. And this arrow indicates the direction of which way our gene is currently going based on the display. Now I clicked on it, or you can click on it, it's simply like that. And what you see is some more bars come up. Now we have green, blue, and red. The green is the gene, the blue is the RNA, and the red is the protein. And if you hover over any of these, it'll tell you how long they are, which is kind of nice to know sometimes. For example, the mRNA here is 628 nucleotides. The protein here, if I hover over that, says it is 147 amino acids. And the gene itself, that is 1,608 nucleotides. So pretty nifty. But let's say I wanted to know more about the sequence of information related to this gene. Maybe I need to get the gene sequence. Well, you can find that pretty easily under the Tools option here. You click Tools, and you go to the Sequence Text View over here. And right off the bat, you don't see a whole lot. Well, that's not very much. But if you scroll down, we will see, look at that. There's our sequence. Beautiful. Now, is that our gene? Is that the one we cared about? Well, if we hover over it with the mouse, it will tell us, yes, indeed, this is gene HBB. Now, sometimes if there's a lot of close genes that are in close proximity, you might have to make sure you're looking at the correct gene first. Now, this light blue coloration here on the front and the end are the UTRs. Why did they change the colors between here and the previous previous image? I couldn't really tell you. It's a bit confusing, isn't it? But just know those are the UTRs on the ends. This sort of pinkish or salmon color there is the coding region. And you know it's the coding region because it's translated underneath. The ATG is going to encode a methionine amino acid, a big M underneath that. And this big green zone, the almost neon green color, those are the introns. And it makes sense. We have 1, 2, 3 exons and 2 introns. Importantly, it is very important to note that exons are anything that remains in the final mature mRNA, and that includes the UTR. So this first UTR here, the 5' one, that is part of exon 1. So exon 1 is actually this whole sequence right there. Cool. And it's nice to see that translation there. However, sometimes maybe you want to copy the sequence and paste it, say, in a Word document. You can get rid of that translation really easily just by clicking None. Look at that. Look at how nice that looks. It's still got the nice colors, and you can just grab this whole sequence, select it, copy it, and paste it, say, in a Word document, and you can do stuff. And now, one of the things I really like about looking at the genomic view like this is you get all the information. You get the introns, you get the exons, you get the UTRs, and you get the flanking region. So if you are, say, designing PCR primers, and there's just not very much UTR, and you want to have something that's going to get all of the sequence, you can find tons of flanking sequence, as much as you want, on either side of your gene, if it's been well sequenced. And the human genome has been fully sequenced, so here it's not a problem. Sometimes, if there's less known, you might see less information here. Another thing that you might come across is sometimes your gene is not in the correct orientation. So let me actually turn the annotations back on here. Here we do have the methionine at the beginning and the stop codon at the end, but sometimes you might see it show up the other way. Like when I first got to this page, when I was trying it yesterday, I looked like this. The stop codon was in front and the start codon was at the end. So all you have to do to get that fixed is to hit this flip strands button, and it just switches the orientation. So the end and the beginning flip, and this just makes it a lot easier to look at. So pretty cool. A lot of good information, a lot of good stuff to see. Hopefully you found that particular stuff helpful. Now I brought us back to the main gene page once again, which I had bookmarked for later. It's always nice to bookmark these things so you can easily find them again. And then there's a couple of other pieces of information to point out here. One is if you want to download sequences directly, you can hit the download button and you can get the gene, the transcript, the protein sequences, just the coding region, just the UTRs. It's pretty nice. The only downside of this, in my opinion, is that you get a lot of raw sequence and there's not a lot of annotation. So it's not always clear by looking at it, like, well, where are the exons or where's the UTR? Maybe you have to do some piecing of things back together. But that's all there if you want it, including the original gene sequence right there. It comes out as a JSONL file, which you can open up in Notepad or in their little text reader tool if you wish. I recommend, if you use this, to save it as something that makes sense to you, maybe HBB sequence information, and then you can go ahead and download them. But that's not what we're going to do. What I want to show you next is there's this transcript and proteins tab up here, which is really useful and important. I'm going to click on that, and for some genes, you may see a lot of different known transcripts or variants. This one is nice and simple. It just has the one. The one that says main select is typically the one you're going to want. It's sort of the most common or the reference one, but there could be others. It does tell you the length of it, and also it tells you the length of the amino acids for the proteins. If we wanted the protein sequence, we could find it here, but I want the transcript sequence over there. I'm going to click on it, and that's going to take me to the nucleotide page. And on the nucleotide page, there is tons of information. Look at it. I'm scrolling way down. There's tons of stuff here. But the actual sequence, the mRNA sequence, which is what I wanted, is down here at the very bottom. And this is nice because since it is mRNA, it contains no introns. It's really nice. So maybe if you wanted to amplify your gene of interest so that you could transform it into a different organism or just use it in the lab, sometimes it's nice to get rid of those introns. Pretty slick. Now, if you want to quickly be able to find out where some of the features are, there's a couple different ways to do it. One way is if you actually hit this Go To button here, it'll bring you to different parts of this long list, including, oops, I got clicking it too many times. I think I broke it. Anyways, that just shows you lower on the list. So for example, if you wanted to know where the features were, things like the coding region or the exons, it would bring you to this features location on the page. And then it will tell you exactly the positions where those features are located. So here the gene is 1 to 628. That's the entire thing. But if you just wanted the first exon, exon 1, that's from position 1 to 142. And you might wonder, what do these positions correspond to? Well, remember that sequence at the bottom? It starts at position number 1, and they're grouped in tens. This is 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And you can find any particular position that you want that way. But I think there's an even easier way that I recently found out about. And if you go up here to the upper right, there's this analyze sequence information, and there's other really nice links in here, like if you want to find homologs or design some primers. But I really like this one that says highlight sequence features. So you click on that. And right away by default, it just highlights where that coding region is, making it super easy to find. So we can see our 5' UTR, the coding region, and the 3' UTR over there, which is really nice. But let's say what we really wanted to see was the exons. Exon 1, we can go down here in the lower left. See, there's this tiny box in the lower left. It took me a while to find it because it's so out of the way. But you just click over here with whatever feature you're interested in. I mainly just use the top two, the coding sequences or the exons. If you click gene, well, it's the whole thing. That's not super helpful. We were on the coding region, but I'm going to click exon, and that highlights the first exon by default. And if you look just a little bit over here, you can see you can pick other exons. I'm going to switch to number 2, and then I can switch to number 3, and you can go back and forth between them. There's no introns in this one because this is simply RNA, and that's all there is to it. So hopefully you found that helpful and useful for your purposes. It's a really slick way to get some of that sequence information you want. That's all. Have a good rest of your day.